Welcome, foolish mortals, to the haunted video. I am your host, your toast host. Kindly get comfortable, please, and make room in the comments for everyone. There's no turning back now. Our time begins here in this gallery, where you see JPEG images of our star as he appeared in his appealing, badass state. Your curiosity betrays an aura of foreboding, almost as though you sense a disquieting opinion. Is this haunting title actually correct? Or is it your imagination? And consider this dismaying observation. This video will have no remorse and no pity. Which offers you this chilling challenge to discuss Dracule Mihawk! Of course, there's always my way. Ah yes, the sword. It might as well be the most famous weapon of all time. A simple design, efficient in its purpose. Those who master the sword can be among some of the most dangerous people on our beloved Earth, and perhaps even the cosmos. And yet, when it comes to arguably the most famous swordsman in One Piece, he cuts the community in two. Yes, my fellow legends, today we're talking about Dracule Mihawk, the strongest swordsman in the world. Now this is going to be a little different than most of my videos. First, I don't usually show my disgusting face, and second, I like to review something of substance, you know, have a few laughs here, make a few observations there. But on today's episode, I'll be attempting to understand a certain mindset that some One Piece fans have. That being, Dracule Mihawk isn't strong.
He's a second-rate villain. Having a sword doesn't make you tough against the devil fruits.
These opinions can get a lot more condescending, but as you can tell, they all share the common opinion that Mihawk isn't as strong as people say he is. He's an exaggerated character because his title is connected to Zoro, and while Zoro is important, he's not Luffy. So the final battle with Mihawk will apparently lose points because Luffy won't be part of it. That makes me hurt. He's one of the best characters already, but how is there such a divide on this guy? Is it because he's the Shadow the Hedgehog to Shanks? Is it because of his beliefs, his title, his hat feather, his skill? That one time he was French?
I won't forget it. I don't see your kind of courage every day.
Ah, demon! Put it in a car and let it fly off a cliff and explode! It is a conundrum. So you know what? Let's break ourselves, breaking down the main points people have against Mihawk. Starting with number 1, he's only a warlord. Ah, the DBZ power scale ranking, how I've missed you. But I won't this time. Any last words, Dragon Ball?
You know, you're nothing more than an insect to me now.
Die, you foul beast! What?
I have one request. Good bathroom ventilation.
God damn it! I'm sure we can all remember a few years ago when a lot of people started ranking One Piece characters and almost everyone with a title was forever stuck on that tier. The tiers were Warlord level, Admiral, and then Yonko level. Now only utter fools would dare to use this terminology to try and make a statement. One example is myself, and I'll regret it for the rest of my days. But it's just so alluring and simplistic. Anyone that has some relevance can be easily grouped away into your own personal preference. But here's the thing, Warlord level doesn't exist. It's comprised of infamous pirates whose powers are wildly different than each other. We're all comfortable with saying, yeah, they have the same power level because Luffy fought them. It's a shame there's this thing called circumstances, since how they're beaten paints a different story in terms of an established power level. Crocodile needed to be fought 3 times using a devil fruit weakness. Gecko Moria needed the combined powers of shadows to win. Kuma, never beaten. Hancock, which is her name was Luffy's pastime. Buggy, Self-explanatory. Doflamingo needed a double dose of Gear 4 and a country to be put down. So to have an agreed upon level of power in terms of the Warlords is frankly ridiculous, since you can't really have a tier that's known and operated on variety. Members are strong, no doubt about that, but some are stronger than others. Too strong, I might add, and Mihawk is the prime example of this, which brings me to point number 2, his rivalry to Shanks. This one might be the strangest point of all. Some believe that Mihawk does not compare to Shanks. He can be a rival, but that doesn't mean he was a perfect rival, echoing the whole power level tier thing again. This means that to some people, Mihawk is only a rival because he has a sword. That's like saying I'm a rival chef to Gordon Ramsay because I can make a peanut butter sandwich. Pretty sure there's more to the whole rivalry than having a similar skill. Now, Shanks vs. Mihawk has been implied and interpreted by fans to be one of the greatest battles in all of One Piece. Yes, it's off screen because Oda has a fetish for that, but we can tell from character interactions that these two fought at their best. I'll come back to this point, but just imagine, these two men of mystery were only holding back or showing off when we saw them on screen. All the feats we saw so far would mean nothing if we saw this fight. So in the past, these two are implied to have dueled for the title the world's best swordsman. The winner wasn't revealed, so it's anyone's guess. I have a feeling it was a draw, but that's not important. Now, I think that some people have forgotten why this rivalry has stopped and turned into an awkward reunion that ends with a strange feeling and the stench of alcohol. When Shanks lost his arm, Mihawk declared Shanks, you know, freaking Shanks, to no longer be a worthy rival. Any duel in the future wouldn't be right since neither contestant would be able to fight at their best without some sense of regret. And it looks like Shanks is okay with that since Mihawk has worn the title of the best since. Shanks has joked around that he could still fight Mihawk, but I think he knows that the duel won't end the way he thinks. Shanks might have stood a chance before, and can still fight now, but I'm pretty sure that both of them know who the better swordsman is nowadays. So whenever I see comments saying that Mihawk is inferior, or that his only accomplishment is having a cool looking sword, I cry. But since we're on the topic then, let's talk about number 3, his questionable power. This one is just dumb. It's just... how do I put this? It's like the climate change debate, but it's in the form of a sexy swordsman. There have been so many comments over the years that declare that Mihawk isn't as strong as certain characters. Chief among them, Shanks, but there's also the Admirals, Shiryu, Buggy. This makes no sense to me. Oda is a master of showing off characters without revealing too much about them, be it through silent action, subtle hints, and characters talking about the subject in question. Examples include Mihawk slicing a giant cannonball in half, scaring the Humandrills, which included a copy of himself, just by approaching them, making everyone shut up by getting ready to swing his sword, left the Marineford War unscathed, and scared Luffy. Really think about that last one. Luffy has charged practically every enemy imaginable, and yes, while there are consequences, it's only when Luffy meets Mihawk in battle does he go, "Oh shit!" Now that's all fine and dandy, but of course, there are the complaints. For instance, people doubt Mihawk since his attack was deflected by Jojo. He wasn't able to make quick work of Vista. He couldn't kill Luffy pre-time skip despite saying he wouldn't hold back. There's also when Mihawk backed out when Shanks arrived, and the fact that when it came to thinking of people who could kill Blackbeard, the Gorosei didn't mention Mihawk at all. I think these can be explained though. With Jojo, I mean the guy was made out of diamonds. I don't think anything except nature and a canceling out devil fruit would do the trick. He reminds me of Garrus from Mortal Kombat 11. How do you beat something when most attacks can't do anything despite how strong some of the opponents are? With Vista, I think it's unfair to him when someone complains about Mihawk showing weakness. Vista is the commander swordsman in Whitebeard's crew. If he wasn't able to put up some fight against Mihawk, I'd be disappointed. Thankfully, his power is recognized. I mean, he still couldn't do any damage to Mihawk, but at least he was able to keep up the pace. With the whole failure to kill Luffy thing, I think that's a story fluke. I mean, this line always irked me.
Apologies, Shanks. But I will not hold back against him.
That's right, boy. I will not hold back, so allow me to stand still and then casually swing my sword, which is more than you can handle anyway. But yes, boy, this is clearly my best. I'm truly going all out. I'm sorry, I give up on life whenever I try to comprehend that. I think Oda was just being dramatic, but then he realized that he couldn't follow through, so he tried to move on faster than a social media date gone wrong. I think we can all agree that if Mihawk went all out, the story would end at Marineford. Unless Usopp became the main character, which, to be honest, I wouldn't mind too much. Then there's the whole retreat when Shanks showed up. A lot of people see that as, yeah, run away, wimp, Shanks is too much for you. Again though, I think he's being cautious and doesn't want to waste his time with Shanks. I mean, they could still fight and Shanks would definitely be able to do something of substance, but thanks to that lost arm, Mihawk doesn't dare to waste a potential blood-soaked duel, when in reality, his greatest opponent will never be at his best again. As for the Gorosei, well, I think it's just common knowledge that Mihawk doesn't really owe the world any favors, especially to the government. Why waste their breath when they know the answer? Though that does sound like the slogan of the anime. So after all that, I think these 3 points ultimately merge into one last question, or point. Number 4. What is his purpose? To lose to Zoro! Okay, that's way too easy and obvious, but I think this is one of those the journey is the destination kind of deals. Don't slap any of this as canon, but I think this is what Oda is building Mihawk up to when it comes to his final fight with Zoro. I think that when Mihawk had his last duel, it was incomplete, a draw. But then Shanks went and lost his arm. Now Mihawk has lost his best competition and enters a Saitama phase. He's the best, but now there's no one left to really challenge him. Sure, he can fight some people and put in a little effort, but none of them are the equal to Shanks. But one day, after humiliating Don Krieg, he meets Zoro, who shows the true pride of a swordsman. Mihawk decides that Zoro is the next great opponent, maybe even his last one. So he lets Zoro live to see the world as Mihawk did when he became the best of the best. That way, when the time came, Zoro would learn everything he needed from Mihawk himself. This is the last trial. Surpass the new world, and then fight Mihawk in a final duel. No matter what result, Mihawk knew that Zoro was going to be the last satisfying fight he'll have. I think that's what Oda is trying to build up. He made a character that doesn't care how the world operates, he's only looking for the next great challenge. Something to pique his curiosity. I'm willing to bet that Mihawk is more complex than people think. Again, I really can't understand why a lot of people hate this man. Who cares if he's destined to fight and possibly lose to a secondary character? One Piece has always highlighted those that aren't Luffy. To insult his power or presence in the world simply because of a Warlord title he carries around or because he has yet to show his full scope of skill is, like I said at the beginning, ridiculous. I can't wait to see what happens next with this character, especially considering that the Warlord system might be gone now. Will we see Mihawk have to fight the Marines, forcing him to fight seriously for the first time in a long time? I hope so. I think as time goes by, this whole hate phase will go away as Mihawk is covered more. I just wanted to talk about him. Seriously, it was extremely difficult to find a good topic to talk about. There really isn't much to go off of, and that's when you hit Theoryland. So I believe that Dracule Mihawk is the best swordsman in the world, and because of that, he's the ultimate neutral party. Kind of like the Lord Beerus of One Piece, if you want to simplify it that much. All I can say is, I can't wait. Tell me what you think of Mihawk down below. Are you a fan? Not a fan? Well, no matter what, at least he'll never be French again.
You're a friend of Zolo? Well then, let's see how good you are.
Nope, it's okay. I don't need a reason to live anymore. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you legends next time. Take care.